Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2, everybody's favorite Bronze League Heroes matchup. It's Terran versus Terran. But we're not quite in the Bronze League. As let me introduce you to one of the best Terrans in the entire world. So good that he couldn't just stick to playing, but also being a caster in the Global Starcraft League, the GSL. It is TY, the Chess Master. And in the bottom right, the young French Terran player with incredible micro and really continually working on the macro. All young Terran players love their super heavy aggression. We'll have to see if he can compete with old man TY. But now on Team Liquid, it is Clem. Team Liquid recently picking up Harstom and Clem. Solid pickups for sure to complement their roster. TY is, I'd put him, like, despite all of his other, he's always a step ahead. That's why my not so original nickname is the Chess Master, because he's always 2 steps ahead of you. He's not the flashiest micro player, not by a pretty long shot. And he's not the best macro player, like I'd say micro for Maru and then macro for Innovation. Even though Innovation does great micro, it's his solid, sharp builds that really define him. But TY is just possibly the smartest player in the world, and I would say almost certainly for Terran. He just seems to know what you're gonna do before you do it, and he's already reacting to your next move before you make it. We'll see if that holds true here. Oh, the bully SCV out of Clem. A classic tactic. TY was forced to build his expansion. A little bit of an awkward location. So far, Clem's micro on point. Wait, what? Oh, I thought he was shooting his own SCV for a second. That means the command center will be delayed, but now there's 2 Reapers. Did Clem overstay his welcome? Oh, good grenade there. Allows the Reaper to live. Playing with some fire. But bringing the SCV to just eat the first shot? I mean, if you're in a duel, the real question is, did I fire 5 shots? Or did I fire 6? Because it takes 6 shots to kill a Reaper from another Reaper. I made that up, but it sounds right. I think it's 6. Technically, the Reaper does 2 attacks, but we're counting them as 1. Even though sometimes it awkwardly attacks once because of weird things. Anyways, Clem has gone too far! He does get a Reaper. The Hellion on the chase. Oh. He's trying to juke through the trees. There's no repair coming. The rest of the units are closing in. How long can Clem's Hellion? Oh my god! Oh! Are you kidding me?
What a save!
Clem took the gamble. He dodged around the corner and pulled over to the side. But the Hellion will live. That was like a movie scene. Now the problem is though, Clem did lose. Oh wait, no, not now. Not after that. Not after all of that. Oh, meanwhile, what is happening now? Clem is dropping Marines on top of Hellions. There's a Reaper in the main. Both sides have expanded, but are throwing units at each other. Hellion, don't you die. You're not allowed to come home and die. Oh my god. Not after all that. You better go home and get repaired. We need a sequel. Finally. Just what he deserves. A handful of Marines that survived the anti-Hellion drop. Now Banshee Cloak is on the way. There's going to be a Raven out of Clem. So the Raven will pop out almost exactly the same time Cloak finishes. But of course, you do need to actually kill the Banshee. That is an important factor. TY not revealing Cloak because he sees the Raven. See, Chess Master. Okay, that's not like that complicated, but look at this. Banshee micro. Barely taking any damage. Meanwhile, Clem is holding one of the most awkward and minimalist contains I've ever seen. We got 5 Marines, we got a medevac, and a Widow Mine, and what else do we need? Oh, the Banshee now cloaks. But the Raven is still here, so. TY has opted for a quick third command center, not very rare at all in TVT, because at some point you get restricted to high-tech units that aren't going to win the game. But, oh, Clem shoots down one Banshee. Like, one Banshee's not going to win the game. One Raven isn't. They're jockeying for position. Oh, I am so blind. I'm like, well, Clem doesn't have a third. Clem's third has been building directly in front of me the whole time, hiding in plain sight. So Clem is only a few seconds behind. Oh, from downtown! The Raven allows the Cyclone to whip a missile a couple zip codes away and knocks the Banshee out. Oh, that's an unhappy situation for TY. He really wanted to keep at least one alive. The threat of the Banshee is honestly more important than the Banshee itself after a time. So who builds up? Now the first stage. Now. Anyways. The first stage has ended. The harassment, the poking, the prodding. Now we've built up a better unit count. How much energy? All 3 Ravens are here. He spots the tanks, but not before they get a solid volley on the Marines. Medevacs are a long way off, because medevacs are just not a priority when you only have half a dozen Marines, maybe a little more. So we're not going to see any healing for him either. In fact, there's not even stim on the way yet for Clem. It's... Clem is going mech. So there will never be stim. Those Marines will eventually die without any healing. Clem is going to go mech, but he's getting aggressive. He's got 3 Ravens to 0. And now, I'm not a mathematician, but 0 is oftentimes considered to be less than 3. TY has opted... Oh, okay. All right. Clem, TY and Clem creating a beautiful Venn diagram. Both sizing each other up, seeing, do I need to siege these tanks? The Raven energy is important to look at, too. It costs 75 energy for interference matrix, so having 2 interference matrices allows you to disable 4 tanks potentially here, maybe 6, though I doubt he'd use 6 interference matrices. TY's already prepared. He's going to leave those units on siege. A scan towards the main from Clem, and then a scan from the third, which kind of hides what he wants to do. Oh, wow. Oh, I don't know about this. Anyways, a whole lot of turrets. Oh my god, the red-headed stepchild of turrets. The auto turret, a short but eventful life, as he just clears the entire front line. 1 tank survives. The Ravens, now the second half of the fight will likely be won here by TY, as now he cleans up. Oh, has he killed a single? Oh, what a juke. Clem all over the place. He jukes in the sky and on the ground. The Vikings are off into yonder. Suddenly, Clem's back, and he's got more auto turrets, which might be just enough to help defend here. I don't know if 1 auto turret will make the difference at this point. Meanwhile, Clem's just sieging up. He's just throwing everything at him. Meanwhile, Vikings on the deck. 9 SCVs have gone down. And what am I watching? Okay, TY is losing a whole lot of economy, but Clem just lost a lot of key units. Was it enough? Clem's at 73 SCVs behind this. The one thing Clem didn't have was his production spun up. He's now finished his factories. He doesn't have upgrades. He's building 2 armories. So TY, as a bio player against mech, 1, you're not supposed to be down on economy, but well, okay, so some more math to be done here. At least he gets 1 Viking, right? He's gonna try to land it. Yeah, come at me. Oh, is it time for the ultimate? Clem utilizing everything he can to juke his enemy's units. Another beautiful play. TY has to gamble here. Like, he's tried to outmaneuver Clem, but Clem has been up in his grill so, not recklessly, but so aggressively that TY was not ready for it, is the simple version. Okay, a couple Vikings on the ground, easily dealt with, but this distracts potentially Clem, but Clem already has Vikings in position. He's going to drop on top. There's already tanks here. TY not getting nearly as much as he might have wanted. The Vikings gun down. That does give an opportunity. This is not doing the devastating damage I think TY wanted here. Oof. Clem defends relatively easily. Yeah, sure, he lost it. The Viking makes it home! Hey, boys. What were you up to? And the boys are pulled to repair him. Clem cares about every unit. And he's been using them so well. Clem outclassing TY right now. It's not over yet as TY's going to have the upgrades. He's building a 4th. He now does have the map control he's been fighting for to an extent. One tank, only one siege. The other tank will siege. That's a lot of Hellions. I don't know. This is going to be a real tough day for those Marines. Clem is... Oh. One Liberator gets a few kills. Another random Marine out of TY gets a couple and delays the 4th. Diminishing returns, though. It is... At some point, Clem's army is just going to walk across the map and win the game. That point, maybe right now, as 1-1 is finishing up, Clem has 40 more army supply. He's got a whole big group of Vikings. I was trying to come up with something more clever. The tanks will have a nice spread that even if you try to drop on them because the Vikings are out of position, that doesn't matter that much. Okay, those Hellions chopped off for free. TY backs off. Gonna eat a couple big tank hits. The Liberator comes back. Clem already there. Well, another Liberator in the natural. That finds an opportunity. Clem reacts very quickly, though. TY now down 40-plus army supply. Even upgrades 2-2. Still a long way off. The tanks move forward. Interference matrix opens up the natural. There's not that many units. There's just... Clem's like, do you have more units? Like, should I be scared here? The answer, no. No. Clem has what he needs. TY gonna do a desperate base trade, but that's a planetary fortress. He's covered. This is... You don't want a base trade. I mean, Bio maybe has a better chance. But this isn't really a base trade. It's not a base trade if you're barely doing anything and your entire base is being obliterated. Like, that's not what a base trade is. A lot of SCVs will go down for Clem. Maybe even a command center, but... There's still a dozen tanks knocking on his door. And no hope of dislodging them. They're just rolling into the main. TY going for the main himself. Good luck with that. There's already a couple tanks sieged up. Vikings chasing. GG. Clem convincingly takes game 1. He just looked like the better player, making use of all of his units from start to finish. Like, traditionally, the bio player is supposed to be the aggressor. The mech player takes longer to build up. They're more vulnerable to mobile attacks like those out of medevacs. So the bio player gets a better economy and gets out on the map with less cost-effective units, but more of them. Clem says, you know what? No. Now we're going to confusingly switch colors. TY now in the blue, Clem in the red. And we're on Zen. A tough time. I don't know, TY. He seemed... you can't point to anything he did wrong. Directly, like... You can't be like, this is what did it. It's just Clem got so many little advantages like a couple, like an SCV there, delay the command center, and then keep the Hellion alive, and then get your own third in a timely manner, and then shut down the Vikings. Clem just found little things, and they started adding up until TY suddenly was in a desperate situation. This time it's going to be 2 gas from both sides. 2 gas, a more common choice, is simply Terran tech units are so strong that if you don't have Terran tech units to deal with them, like you're not going to have 6 Marines do not counter someone who has an extra Raven. And that's a smaller example. The question will be, do they pull off of gas now that the factory has started? Because a more macro-oriented build is pulling off of gas in order to get the factory quickly, make sure you have that tech, but then be able to expand. TY is still mining with a full 3 in each gas, with the factory comfortably building. Clem has pulled 3 SCVs off of gas. So Clem wants to expand. TY... well, it's going to be something Starport related. That's the only reason, like Cloak Banshees, like a Viking push, or dare I say, Battle Cruiser? Command center on the way. I don't know, like, he's building double Reaper, so now TY isn't mining full gas. Okay. So TY is looking to win the Reaper battle and then catapult off that. Like, he's going to have 4 Reapers and 2 Hellions. When Clem has, well, at this point it's only 2 Reapers and 1 Hellion. If TY goes the moment these Reapers and Hellion are done, the Cyclone might be done. I don't know. Clem didn't build a second Hellion, which means the Cyclone comes quicker. There's also going to be the medevac. The medevac... okay, now the plan comes together here. The medevac can both negate Cyclone lock-ons as well as heal the Reapers. And also opens up the option for drops as well. So this is a high aggression play out of TY. And it's one of those that it can all be over very quickly. If Clem doesn't react in a split second, suddenly the grenades land, you're already in a bad position. There's a lot of damage that comes out of these units. TY could also drop the Hellions and just jump the Reapers. Okay, Clem reacts very quick. The SCVs are already dead, though. He picks up, negates the lock-on. There's a Viking here. The Viking needs to... is it going to go to ground? Clem? The Hellion... okay. 4 SCVs. So far, the Viking... the medevac is still intact. He used a lock-on on it. Suddenly, there's 6 Reapers. A bit of an awkward exchange. I'm not sure if TY got as much as he wanted to get done there. These are relatively low-cost units, so the lock-ons, while they're effective, don't really kill much. The cooldown of the lock-on is what we're working off. Yeah, Clem, you see that he sees a Hellion with no Reapers. He's like, sir. Okay. Wait, you could jump in there? Well, the Reapers died, but still. Today we all learned. Well. So, that's good to know. I don't think I've never actively seen someone use that location for Reaper jump. So far, though, like, the thing is, TY is keeping map control. Like, five Reapers slaughter your mineral line if it's not protected quickly. Clem still has a bit of a worker lead, and overall, TY didn't get enough damage done. Just crunching the numbers here. He committed a lot and didn't get much for it. The tech of Clem is still on point. He's got a quicker third command center. He's got a few more SCVs. And by no means, it's not like, oh, TY should just tap out. or he needs to go all in. No, it's a small advantage. Just like last game, Clem started out small advantages. But they started spiraling. The Cyclone's still looking for pickoffs here. I believe TY made one Banshee. Yes, one Banshee. He's going to be going for Bile again. He's only got the one barracks. He's going to be looking to add some more on here, considering Stim is on the way. Third command center built on location, but significantly behind Clem's. A scan. Perfect timing. Scouts 2 barracks of Clem, so it's going to be Marine Tank up against Marine Tank, the eternal battle. And TY not to be outdone. Counter scan. Oh. Clem snipes a Raven with his Cyclones. Oh, now that, like, you can't let that happen. That... You can't... That... No! That's a big blow. That's another small advantage. Like, it's not the end of the game, but it definitely doesn't help. Another base coming up, and TY is going to take a forward position. This could force a mistake out of Clem, but it's also risking all these units in this position. Clem, a big fan of the Ravens, obviously. Oh, decent tank volley to start. Now the question will be, when does Clem want to break this and how? Oh, the Reapers get in. Okay. And the Reapers are killing things, and he's going to try to drop this down as well. The Reapers beat the Cyclones. The auto turrets doing well. There's 3 tanks still out of TY. Marines destroyed. It looks like the Reapers were cleaned up. TY driven back. I don't know why TY thought he could hold that position. Clem obviously has more units. I'm just staring at the production tab like, what's going wrong here? But Clem has an advantage in every single counter, pretty much. I guess he hasn't added on barracks 4 and 5 yet. That's the only thing. But this, 4 Vikings to 3, but auto turrets are definitely going to turn the tides there. More auto turrets into the main. SCV is dying. SCVs. TY blocked in both of his SCVs building engineering bays, by the way, which is kind of cruel and unusual in my opinion. Clem's up in his grill. There's only one. TY has 1 Marine. That's it. TY is now down 2-0 against Clem. Which, I mean, you go in, and it is a best of 5. Okay, I believe this was an ESL Open Cup Finals. But he's got a couple French. TY just nothing working. Like, I think that first attack had potential, but Clem split. I can't snap, but if I could snap my fingers, Winter, and then go ahead, get that engagement. More comments telling me how to snap my fingers than complaining about. Well, there's no Zerg to complain about here, so definitely. Anyways, Clem up 2. Did they switch? Stop it! I hate, like, why? Why would you do this? Ah! They switched colors back. And now Clem is in the blue. And TY is red. So just keep track. I got some serious deja vu for some reason, but no, the first map was Nightshade, then it was Zen. I was like, wait, is this the same game? No. It's just gonna be a Reaper expand for both sides, 1 gas apiece. Oh, Jimmy, come on. We've gone this far, and we forgot about damaged health bars. At this point, TY should just have full health bars, because he's obviously been damaged mentally. After that shellacking from Clem in the first 2 games. But he's a professional. He's played hundreds, maybe thousands, probably hundreds of series professionally. Going down 2-0 is not something that's particularly rare, even for the best. What do we see now, though? What's the play? What's the call? What's the strat? Like, you still can't really point. I guess TY is overconfident in his own micro? Maybe? I don't... There's nothing that you can point at and be like, this is something TY shouldn't do. I mean, I can point at losing a Raven to a couple Cyclones, but the Cyclones were way out on the map, and Clem used a double lock-on, which means he was actively looking at them. So it was just Clem reacting so quickly. TY literally like, oh, the ultimate duel. The boys getting involved. It's getting messy. Every shot counts, and then they both go to their corners and deal with their problems. Both SCVs slaughter, and the duel will be rejoined. Grenade dodges away. Clem still has his nade. Oh, the ultimate duel. Who comes out on top? Oh, and TY. Wait, no, Clem. Wait, yes, Clem. I'm so confused with the colors. Clem comes out. Oh, and he almost misses a shot to kill the once again, the slimmest of advantages. But you can run with that. Oh, the Hellions gonna make this. Oh, nice dodge there. Oh, okay. What a duel! Both SCVs killed, grenades dodged, but that shot comes out for Clem a split second faster. Oh, and Clem is gonna get aggressive. He's got concussive shells, the knee breaker push. And you might be like, well, Winter, did you know Hellions don't have knees? You need to shut the... and just move along, because the concussive shells are on the way. And when they're Hellbats, they do, though, which is confusing. So the knees are in there somewhere. What about tanks? Shut up. Shut up. Just watch the game. I'm excited to see, like, every once in a while, this is one of those Terran builds that makes an appearance in every matchup every once in a while. Like, you probably won't expect a couple concussive shells Marauders to ruin your day. And I doubt TY does. Wait, did he? He didn't see the Tech Lab upgrading. Yeah, no. Here they come. Even when he sees the medevac, he's not going to expect this. But, oh, the SCV was repairing the command center and not the Hellion. The Marauders come out. The auto turret, a great counter. So, oh, he's going to try to, yeah, okay. No, rip Hellion. The Marauders are now in the main. Okay, you know, things are happening. That was mostly a dud, though. Like, the auto turret did a lot. So, yeah, Clem shut down. He does have a third command center on the way. TY, we'll probably slap it down kind of soon. So, when you do this, the big risk is now you've committed to a lot of units that don't really help your main army. I guess eventually Marauders, but Hellions, they have an expiration date. Building a medevac this early means you're not going to have as many Ravens with as much energy. So TY will have a better unit composition. He's been slamming out tanks. That's what they do. They just tank. And he's going to be in a okay spot For the first time, Clem, while he did get tiny advantages to start, I would say TY defended that comfortably. And while losing more, the tech delay is the big part of it. TY, for the first time, will have a Raven lead. Not only in Raven count, but also just the energy they've built up. Which is it. Ravens are the Swiss Army knife of the Terran army. Having a Raven means you got so many options on the table. You can disable tanks. You got auto turrets to both tank damage and supplement it, possibly for harass. Anti-armor missile later on is great against large groups of units. Like, they have detection. They fly. All right, they're handsome. Okay, they're vegan. They'll compliment you when they come out of the starport, even if your build is kind of bad and you probably shouldn't have built a Raven in the first place. They have 3 degrees, all of which are in applicable fields. Like, what doesn't the Raven do? So, and speaking of auto turrets, we'll duel one another. Nice snipe with a Cyclone on a tank here. It's a pacifist. It attacks through proxies. So that's getting a little philosophical, but so this is a strong gust of wind or a couple Lancer torpedoes out of the Viking clean up the Liberator. I don't know what happened to it out in the field. Oh, that's a risky drop, boys. Meanwhile, a Raven in the main. Down it goes. So they're kind of just units everywhere now. Stim's going to finish for both sides. The worker counts are near even. The upgrades +1 going to start. I got to like check the colors each time because they keep switching them on me. +1. This is about as close as we've got to an even game this whole series. What is the unit count? 5 tanks to 5 tanks, 2 Ravens to 2 Ravens. TY with a decisive Viking advantage. But Clem has a few more random factory units mixed in, and he has more Raven energy. Clem, like, both of them, almost identical timings on combat shield. Oh, Raven at full energy, anti-armor missile, auto turrets everywhere. Oh, he only got a couple turrets out. What's happening? Interference matrix from TY. And that means the tanks just have to sit there and take it. Oh, Clem's Raven usage for once not being perfect. And that's it. TY wipes him out. TY strikes back. What a play. A messy exchange, but Clem not able to get the wins that he stacked up in the other matches. Like, that time, the Raven stayed alive, the damage was not done. Clem didn't have that serious initiative he was pretending to. And that means TY still in it. It is a best of 5, 2-1. Looking a little more realistic now, but Jimmy says it's time for a quick advertisement before we get back into it. In these tough times, gotta get that ad revenue. So if you guys can pause ad block, I'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Winter, and did you know you can watch all of my videos on YouTube? And you're like, well, Winter, I'm on YouTube right now, but instead of watching all of your videos in a playlist, I just get hand-fed mostly Locos, but occasionally your videos, whatever's on autoplay, because I can't think for myself. Well, press the end screen at the end of this video, and you can get all of the pro game cast that Loco has already done. Subscribe as well. Thank you. Good luck. Have fun. Thank you guys for sticking around. Game? Oh my. Game 4. TY put one. Oh, they didn't switch colors again. Now my brain is even more broken. We're on Purity and Industry. TY Purity. Clem industry. One of them builds tanks. I like how we have butcher missiles here. You see, there's no guide on TY side of the map. I do gotta say, while the layout of the map with the bubulas, the air bubulas, to slow things down in an island base, like, it's a weird map. I would like to see more maps that varied the styles, like when one base looks different than the other. I think that's really cool. There's a reason this map won the Team Liquid map contest. It's because, mostly, it looks really cool, and also, it's not super broken, and people will play on it. They just probably won't like it very much. We will see. I don't know, we'll sit here and be very quiet. TY is the chess master. You know what? One of the worst parts about, especially early StarCraft 2, was the feeling that you're watching a chess match, and that's what I've always been envious of games like Counter-Strike or Rocket League or fighting games, because there's not nearly as much, especially with like Rocket League and fighting games. Like, there's no need for players not to hear what the casters are saying. It's more like the action is always happening, and like a goal or a headshot or a knockout or something, everybody gets up and cheers like it's WWE. But in StarCraft, we'll maintain a calm, comfortable posture until an actually good play is made, and sometimes it could be 20, 30, 40 minutes until the end of the game before the players are allowed to have emotions. Fun fact, Cyril was only allowed to have emotions this year. Before that, it was illegal in Finland. Fun fact. So, for those wondering. But that is part of what I think the more casual viewer of StarCraft 2, like, it doesn't have the level of unadulterated hype in every match at every second that other games have potential for. And that's because in StarCraft, you have to use your brain, which makes it difficult for many people. Well, what are these players using their brains for? We have a 1-1-1. The ground distance between the bases is relatively long compared to your average map, but the air distance, while it seems short, the bubulas slow the speed of air units by 35%. So imagine it was 1/3 longer than it was. You should be used to that by now. But that's how long it takes. It's actually a little quicker if you maybe dive through this gap in it. Of course, it is... Oh, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. It looks so slow. Dun, 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 dun. And he breaks through. TY has, like, no units here. That's another thing about maps that have a different layout. Players just don't have the by-default defenses they usually do. Oh, nice Widow Mine. Unburrows to keep it from firing. Another shot. He's going to let that one go. The Widow Mine itself is taking some damage. This is doing... And meanwhile, at the natural, it appears Clem is actually winning this fight. The SCV didn't repair the Hellion, but instead, there's only one Marine for anti-air, which is a little awkward. But the Liberator sieges up. There's already a great reaction time out of Clem. Clem! Oh! Even saves that SCV. The medevac, relatively uncontested. The Liberator gonna escape as well, but a Cyclone's already out for Clem. Is there a Cyclone for TY? It just started. So far, Clem grinds out. Well, oh my god, the reactions are so perfect. He only loses 2 SCVs to a Liberator that was, well, at first uncontested and then got into a good spot. Liberator's knocked out as well. Clem did not lose his medevac. He's up 10 supply. Oh, the Raven passing. He's skirting the edge of the Bubulas. I don't know if that's intentional to be faster or just to potentially avoid Vikings and stuff like that. We'll see. One auto turret, and then the Raven gets out. The Bubulas actually end, so you can circumvent them if you take that angle. A scan from TY. He spots the Raven. Doesn't see the Cyclone here, but that's not that relevant right now. But a counter scan out of Clem. Be like, wow, what a Bronze League hero strat. No, it's just they both built their orbitals at similar times in scanning. Once all the production comes together and they're committing either to additional production or a third command center, is usually a standard play because you need to figure out whether your opponent is going to be aggressive or whether they're going to try to focus more on their economy and use minimal units with which to pressure and potentially harass. Or they're Bronze League heroes. ¿Por qué no los dos? Guanapo. Couple barracks on the way. TY. Gonna just subvert all expectations despite being on the purity side of the map. He will be the one going mech. On another factory, bringing it full circle here as Clem so successful with that mech in game 1, but TY doesn't have the advantages that Clem had in that match. He doesn't have the worker lead, the Raven kills. In fact, he's down a couple workers, so he's gonna be in the more traditional role of mech, which is playing defense, whereas Clem with bio, and right now neither has major upgrades for each composition, but it looks like TY is going to be on defense for quite a while. Yo, TY, wake up! But he can just disable those tanks. But so can TY, the Ravens. A medevac with 4 Marines, but not only can it distract, it might do some damage. TY has to retreat to his natural while Clem is mining from his 3rd. Cyclone does not beat these Hellions. A little bit of an awkward exchange there. Clem spotted by TY's scan. TY already sieging up. But once again, sieging up and you get interference matrixed, you cannot unsiege. You can't use any abilities. This drop, drawing some units back. What is the Viking count? 4 to 4. But Clem's going to struggle to get Vikings joined up with his army, especially if they're dropped into TY's main, killing SCVs. Oh, a Viking drops. A couple SCVs down. The tank's very helpful. This is a weird exchange. Oh, the Cyclone's pretty good. Oh, wait a second. Do the Vikings win that? Another Viking comes up. Meanwhile, Clem dives on the army. The tank TY does not respond. His Raven's not able to close the distance, and Clem jumps him in the middle of the map. Guts everything he had. The Raven's just not there. Clem just shows up, surprise. And just a couple units in the main distracting TY for the couple seconds it took for Clem to take a decisive victory. 3 to 1. And, well, will this finally be the year of Clem? It's been a couple years. It's like, well, Clem, incredible Terran player, but still struggles in high-pressure matches. Well, TY is a pretty high-pressure match. I believe that was the ESL Open Cup Finals. But, and it looked pretty easy, to be honest. Well, if you enjoyed, thank you to Wardy for his replay packs. As always, check out Wardy, twitch.tv/Wardy with 3 eyes, which is confusing, but so are most things that are English, or at least spelled by the English. If you enjoyed TVT mirror matchups, I was trying to do the Resident Sleeper emote, but I quickly realized I don't know exactly what it looks like, and it's going to look weird if I try to do it, but I committed anyways. If you enjoy that commitment, make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, follow, Twitch Prime, all the things. Thank you for watching. Good luck. Have fun. Have an amazing day.